Good evening and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode, another season in the London Green Save. We are back for season 12. You would have noticed the thumbnail, you would have noticed the title. Today is episode 0. What does that mean? Well, it means that we won't actually have a game being played here today. Today's episode is a slightly different one. You can see what I've done to start this season off. I have got a clean slate, a completely clean slate. It even says there, custom clean slate. In fact, I'm going to get rid of all of these, because our tactic is more or less to play possession-based football. It's plan A, as you can see. I hit save on that for us now. We've got a clean slate, as you say. I've taken out all of the players out of the squad. They're all currently sat in the reserves. I've got a couple of players on trial that I'm thinking about signing, but today's episode is all about building the squad that's going to take us into season 12 and of course take us into another division, and hopefully in that new division we will have a good time of it. So that's what today's episode is going to be about. It's going to be about slowly filling in this squad with a first 11. Now, in the last couple of seasons, I've been kind of building the squad in a different way, where I kind of try and treat it as first 11 and a second 11. I think I'm moving past that now to the point where I'm going to focus on having a first 11 that is just outright the first 11. There will be rotation, there'll be injuries, there'll be trying out certain things, but that's the idea. To just have a first 11, the best possible 11 that we can put forward into a game, and see how they can do. So you can see I've set everything as completely empty, and over the course of the episode we will fill in this squad. The first things first, this is currently the squad we've got. Quite a few players in there. We've got an under 21s and an under 18s. Of course, look, we've actually got some under 18s in there, which again, I'm going to move them into the reserves so that I've got everyone available to me as we start this episode. Now, the whole episode isn't going to be me just like ranting on. I'm going to go off camera, do a bit of work, and come back and show you what I'm up to. But I'm hoping for about, an average 15, 20, potentially 30-minute episode. But what we're going to make sure we do is get to the start of the season, which is going to be in quite a while. You can see all the trials will finish at certain points. That's the restricted free transfers only. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I go into the calendar, wherever that is in the schedule, into the calendar. Our first games will be probably August or September time. So we've got a lot of time to build our squad, try and tweak our squad and make it how we want to make it. I mean, look, the under 18s haven't actually finished their season yet, so they're still playing. But this is the idea. We're going to go into scouting. We're going to do all the work, try and get players that really fit our dynamic. Now, I did have the non-negotiables. I've actually kind of softened my stance a little bit on the non-negotiables. Now, the non-negotiables were these 5 stats here. What I think I've kind of decided is that I'm not going to take the non-negotiables as completely non-negotiable. I do think determination and teamwork are the most important stats for me. Like, personally, that's what I do think. So if I go and take you to centre backs, for example, determination, we've got a lot of players with good determination, and we've got a lot of players with, decent teamwork. We do struggle on some other stats. You can see lots of yellow, only 1 green in there, only 3 here, not as many in there. But the whole point is the determination and the teamwork have got to be strong. If one is particularly high, then yeah, potentially the other one can be a bit low. But for the most part, I'm kind of looking at 10s as evens. You've got 10 in one, 11 in the other, like there, 10 and 9. Those are pretty good. Those are pretty good stats. So I'm going to jump off camera now. We're going to go from goalkeeper all the way to the striker. We're going to try and fill in the squad. And over time, well, actually, I don't actually know if it's any point in me going from goalie to striker. I'm just going to progress through the off season and try and build an absolutely kicker squad, top squad. We're going to go for how many players is that? Sub 15. So 11 plus 15, 26. 26 man squad to go from to start the next season. Let's go. Let's get into it. Okay, so a little bit of time has passed, not a lot. We're only at the 27th. Only the 27th of May, but I've got a lot of players on trial. I've got an absolute mountain of players on trial. Far too many, really. So it's kind of like about time to make some decisions, really, I suppose. So first things first, goalkeepers. Most important stats that I'm really looking for, probably reflexes, just making saves. And for the most part, agility is going to help in that. And for those two stats, we've got Wilmer Johansson is our best bet. And then not far behind, you've got Max Evans, who's got some nice stats in the non-negotiables. Of course, Wilmer Johansson got a couple of them a little bit low. But you can see that Wilmer Johansson actually has better stats across the board, except for aerial reach and the one-on-ones. But everything else, that's 4 out of the 6, is the better goalie. And that is at a younger age as well. So I think I'm going to end up just picking Wilmer Johansson to be the man, to be the one we go after. So we'll offer him a new contract. It'll be a non-contract, but I actually do need to start giving out new contracts, so to speak. So go with 35 and 10. That's accepted. Brilliant. And then I suppose not a bad idea to have Max Evans as the as the backup. Okay, yeah, we'll just make the offer then. It's a 0. That's fine. Submit that. See what they say, and then unfortunately, that looks like the other goalies. For example, George Pierce, you're going to move down into. Actually, no, Johansson moves up into the senior squad. Hopefully, Max Evans does as well. Do you need a third goalie? I think you do need a third goalie. We don't have a great selection on that front. I think I'll see what Dylan John wants. Numbers wise. That's too much. Unfortunately, that is too much. So Alan Jones. Even that is a little bit much, but then again, that's on appearance fee. I won't be paying it every time. Wow, okay, Alan Jones just said I've backed him into a corner. So it's going to be George Pierce, the youngster, who we're going to be offering numbers to. 20 and 5 is accepted. Okay, and there we go. That's the 3. That's the 3 that we're going to get. So Alan Jones, you're not, well, you're not, if you're not wanted, I guess you're not needed. So off you go. Dylan John, your trial can be cut short because again, I don't need that much. Yeah, I don't need that much. So to continue, and that is hopefully going to be the first position sorted out. If we do find a better goalie from here to the end, if a goalie is suggested to me, or if I find someone in the scouting, I'll just do the simple comparison to Johansson, and then to the next level, and then to the next level, and see if they slot in. That's not to say that they instantly will be signed. That's not really how it works. But that's kind of my thinking, is that if we do find a better player, we'll bring him in, we'll swap him in, and we'll just keep building the squad. It is a bit of an annoyance that with the losing of the save, I've kind of had to rebuild my squad. Like I did have a pretty neat squad, a pretty nicely built squad, but this is what this episode is. An episode 0, it's exactly about that. Elliot Williams made another offer. Okay, yeah, so let me. Interesting. These are other. these are other characters, other players whose trials are coming to an end. I'll have to have a look at them now to decide. They think Sam Tinker should be made a bid for. Okay, let's go do that real quick, and then I'll be right back with whomever I have offered. Oh, Declan Gregory is in there as well. Okay, move you back to the reserves. There we go. Okay, Johansson is in there with an appearance of 35. Now, I'm going to keep a good eye on the finances as well, because we've got a decent budget to be spending. But, in fact, that can kind of go the other way. We don't really spend any money. So we've got about 5,000 to play with. That's a significant amount. Staff wages are a bit of a problem, actually. I'll have to deal with it. Okay, so it's been about an hour, I want to say. I think I've been at this for about an hour, maybe longer. And I have whittled down that incredibly large group of players that I originally had. It's still not tiny. These are in the reserves. These are in the actual squad, the senior squad. This is where I'm at with the senior squad, of which I've still got 29 in there. So I'm still a little bit over where I wanted to be. Now, I'm at a point now where I've made offers to players and I'm kind of waiting to hear what they're going to say about, whether or not they want to play, but basically. Some players, look at that, they don't even have an appearance fee. Have I offered this lad a contract? I have, yeah. So I'm just waiting on this contract to come in. Stefan Clark, who just plays across the back line, almost like our old Akeem Brathwaite, who we obviously haven't had for a while, but he was just such a useful player to just slot in across the back line. You've got an injury, doesn't matter. In he goes. Especially when you've only got 5 subs. You can only name 5 subs in the league. Maybe that would change going into this new division, but I don't really know. So there's a lot of players whom I am waiting on answers from, but other players whom I have given their contracts, I've kind of talked to them and said, this is what I'm willing to pay. I don't really like having players on unused sub fees. So what I might do is kind of renegotiate contracts and get rid of those. Because quite a few have got those on that I don't really like. But that's something, that's neither here nor there. I'll figure that out. Finance wise, we have lost a bit of money, but that's of course because we're not bringing any money in. We're at 7.8 on the spending at the moment. The last thing I was having a look at was which strikers I am kind of considering as my main strikers, because I've got a good selection here. I've got 6 strikers and others who can maybe slot in if you need them to. Mostly judging off the ball, composure and finishing. If I do that, you've got Ben Horn, just a quality player. You've also got Alex McSkeen. Again, those 3 stats looking very good. And Levi Welsh, who, again, I need to offer a contract to. They want 3.7. The thing is, I probably could do that. But now that I've done this, it won't let me. Dang it. I don't think I can do that. I mean, I'll suggest those terms, see what they say. But, I mean, he looks like a good player to bring in, doesn't he? What are his actual contract details? Buyers 20. See the contract. He's just signed a part-time contract of 170 per month. Oh, that's frustrating because he would be one heck of an addition. Declan Gregory, however, is not a bad backup. It's just the composure is a bit of a letdown for Declan Gregory. However, he's only 22 years of age, so there's a bit of time there, you would say. Tyrese Ruddock, Samir Omrani, just very solid stats on these here. And Faris Khan as well, very solid stats. But you can see these aren't actually strikers. These are players that can fill in if we need them to. So I'm going to go back to the general info screen, fill this out, and kind of say that this is the squad for now. Maybe it's not Well, actually, Levi Walsh, I don't think we're going to be able to get. So I may as well terminate that trial. There are other players in there again. I'm just waiting on responses. So if that's 29, like I say, that's, wait, you would get rid of that. That's 28. 28 person squad, not too bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So if I'll hit advance. And see, he doesn't want to leave. But Levi Walsh is actually a player that I definitely want to keep note of. On the short list, if I go into transfers, oh no, is it in scouting? This is my short list. It's mostly just players who are already involved with me. I take it I won't actually get answers until they come back off of holiday, which might take a while. So again, a little bit again, I'm going to hit advance. I'm going to get time going forward. A lot of players are going to leave off of their trials. We're going to have a lot of players left in the reserves, and potentially a couple of players in the under 21s and the under 18s and yada yada. But yeah, we're looking okay. Like we're trying to build this squad, and it's looking okay. And boom, there we go. We've had an answer. We've had a reply. Now we can start negotiating with Max Evans. Of course, the goalkeeper. That's a lot. That's a lot. Oh, and he says no. He says absolutely not. I'm not happy with those numbers. So unfortunately, we have to terminate that trial. We go into the reserves. George Pearce moves up into the senior squad, becomes the backup goalie to Wilmer Johansson. And if I can find another goalie, of course, I'll give them a go. I don't think I'm going to find another one. I'm not going to lie. That's a little bit rough. Dang it. Okay, well, that's fine because Johansson was the first teamer anyway. We just got to try and make sure we keep Johansson with us. We've given him a contract offer. They get back on the 26th of June. It's a long way away. I'm going to keep clicking advance. Right, so we've made a few signings, which is good. Pearce has accepted a new contract. Brilliant. He moves up into the senior squad. Richard Hughes has joined us. Head physio Martin Hughes has given Richard Hughes a clean bill of health. Well, that's awesome stuff. Now, Richard Hughes is a centre mid with really good vision, really good flair, really good teamwork stats. Composure's not bad either. A little bit lacking on the old agility and over there. But for the most part, you can kind of see how this player is going to be more influential as an attacking midfielder as well, with the flair and the vision and the passing and the technique as well. May not necessarily be an MC. Now, another thing to kind of say about that is that even though I've got this player here, this box-to-box midfielder, there is a quite high likelihood that I move this player forward and they straight up become an attacking midfielder, an advanced playmaker on support, trying to link up to the strikers. So we've got that, and then we've got that, and they just bounce between the two, depending on the situation. If I think we need an extra midfielder to kind of try and hold possession a little bit more as we build up from the back, we can do that. There's also the option of bringing this striker down as a deep lying forward, meaning that as a deep lying forward, they're going to bring the ball back a little bit. They're going to hold the ball up a little bit and be a little bit closer here. If you've then got this player here and the forward here, you're really linking up. But it's just options. That's basically all it is. It's just options. So I'm trying to think of players that can do multiple things, multiple options. I think Richard Hughes is one of them. He even says, look, best role, advanced playmaker. Get him up the pitch, get him passing, get him trying to link up play, get him trying to make assists, put our pacey strikers, our good finishing strikers into good positions. That's what we're going for. Now, it's the 1st of June. I'm still just advancing time forward. We want everyone to get back from holiday so that I can actually confirm the squad who is going to play for us. Got things like Stefan Clark, who still hasn't accepted or rejected the offer that I've made for him. Richard Hughes obviously just has, so that'll update in a second. Tom Moss is going to leave the squad in a second because his, pardon me, his trial has come to an end. Now, do I give him the offer? Do I not? He's got very good stats in certain things. Really pacey, could get him behind the defense, but do we need that extra right midfielder? We've got Nathan Evans, who's got pretty decent pace. Not the best, but pretty decent. You know what? I'm going to offer him a contract. I'm going to offer him a contract just to see what he wants. It's not actually that bad. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to go 80-20. And that's going to be accepted. Good, good. We will give him time, of course, to decide whether or not that is what he wants to do, if he wants to join us. But we're in June. Players come back from holiday at the end of June. We will have a squad ready for the preseason. Hopefully. And Moss says, I'm going to play for the Greens. That's what we're on about. And amazingly, other players are committing their future as well. We've signed Finnegan. Well, Max Evans actually said no to, I don't need to know about this. Get out of my sight. Get out of my face. Carson, however, has gone. Not really much you can do about it. If a player's going to leave, they're going to leave. And we do have cover. That's good. We've got Flint and Turner Gilligan on this side, but Turner Gilligan can play on the left-hand side. So you've got cover in different ways. And if we currently look at the squad as things stand, 23. 23. And now that's not too bad at all. 23 players have gotten. Okay, he's joining on the 30th of the 7th. I mean, that's interesting. I don't know why, but yep, sure. Okay, now I can actually go about filling in the squad. So Johansson is the starting goalie. George Pierce is the second choice. That's fine. Levi Flint and Turner Gilligan are our right back and probably our left back as well. If I click that, will it just pop? There we go. Yeah, exactly. Just hover over that and it'll show me what I need to see. Okay, so Flint goes on the right. Turner Gilligan goes on the left. Now, centre back positioning is a difficult one. Stephen Clark definitely covers the entire back line. So in he goes as well. Back to the squad. Anthony Joseph only covers the left back position, I think. A little bit competent at right back, not really the best at it. That's okay. Now we've got to try and make a decision on central defenders. We've got 4 good centre backs. I think Sam Carr, Ruben Mason are going to take it. Yeah, I think so. So Sam Carr, are you left-footed or right-footed? You are right only. Now Ruben Mason, are you right only as well? He say right only. Are they all right-footed? They are all right-footed. Okay, well then it doesn't matter who is on the left, who is on the right. They're just going to have to both slot in. In fact, right only. Whereas are you just right? Oh no, they are right only. Yeah. So there we go. Okay, so we can now have some of the subs filled in as well. So there we go. Brilliant. Just like that. Now is a big question. I think I'm going to go from strikers back. Do I go wingers first? I think wingers are a little bit more obvious as to who goes where. Embleton starts on the left. And on the right, you've got Evans, Ruddock. That's more or less your choice. How about we do a little comparison? Ruddock has got more or less everything over Evans except pace. I think Ruddock is going to have to go in there on the right-hand side. Of course, we do remember that Ruddock can play as a striker, so we've got that in the bank as well. Okay, now, middle of the park. This is where things are a little bit more difficult. 4 strikers there as well to pick from. None of them are particularly strong for that kind of deep lying. Not particularly strong means I might have to kind of remove that and we'll just. Interesting. That's interesting. We might not have the exact striker we need for that position just yet, but we will have a look. We will have a look. Okay, so off the ball movement, who is our best? McSkeen. Horn's not bad off there. Strength of 6. I think Horn goes on the right. Skeen on the left. Means we've got Gregory, Omrani there as our kind of backup players. Now it's 2 midfielders. 2 midfielders. Now, who's our best defensive option? We're looking at things such as strength, tackling. I think it's going to have to be Olafsson. In fact, we are very lucky that we've got Olafsson. And now we're looking at our more playmaker style attacking midfielder. So we're looking for vision and passing and flair. And in fact, Dennison's got very good numbers there. Look at that. Then again, Richard Hughes is very well rounded. Good numbers across the board. I think they may be swapping in and out. I'm going to start with Dennison. That is going to be the team as things stand. So move these guys across. That is the team as things stand. Right, now I'm going to jump forward to when all the players are off of holiday, and at some point this will update to the new season as well. Let's get to that next. Okay, so here was a super interesting email to come in about the fact that we're going to get all of our fixtures soon on the 25th. On the 5th of August. Okay, that's when the season starts. That's good. We're going to get to that. But look at us. We're down here, promoted from level 11. There we are. Does that mean we know who is in our division yet? No, we still don't. Okay, well, we're going to have to figure that one out. Got the preseason prep coming. Wait. Those are preseason fixtures. That's not preseason fixtures. That's just last season's. Okay, yeah, fine, whatever. Right, but there we go. We have found out when we're going to get our fixtures. It's going to be the 20. Did it say 25th, 25th, 26th? There it is. Beginning of preseason. We're going to get to that, and that's where I'm going to end the episode, because we've actually managed to put the squad together. It's not the best. It's not exactly like I've gone and crazy upgraded the squad. It's nothing like that, but it is a better squad, and that's kind of where we had to start. So yeah, okay, we're making offers for players. That's actually not me. I've told one of the coaches, assistant managers, scouts, one of them, maybe even the director of football, they're making offers for players. And it's actually quite useful that they're making offers for players, because it means that if they do make an offer for a really, really good player, I don't have to do the hard yards and figure out that player. They'll just come in and they'll slot in. But if they make an offer for a not great player, then they'll just go into the reserves, because our finances are looking okay. We're spending 8.3, committed 8.7. We're up to 58,000 when we were only on 40 at the end of last season. So we have gained a little bit. We're doing all right. Let's get those fixtures. Let's get to here, basically, and then I will wrap things up. I've been yapping. Here we go. Okay, so it took a while to load up to the new season. I had to leave the game for I don't really know how long, but I had to leave the game for a little bit. But finally, we have loaded up, and we've got a cup competition, which I am absolutely chuffed about. We haven't played in a cup competition, an actual cup competition. It matters. You lose that game, you're out. You lose that game, you're gone. Which is awesome. We're in a cup. I'm so excited. We look at our schedule. We've got our schedule. We will play in the cup. On this date, we won't know who we're playing, so we've got a good number of league games. We're in the Combined Counties League, Division 1. Oh, would you look at that? There's actually, oh, why is it showing me that? There we go. There's playoff positions, which means that all the pressure on finishing in the top spot, it isn't there. It isn't there. I mean, we'd still love to, but we're 4 positions. Oh my word. 22 teams in the season. 42 games over the course, 42 league games and cup games as well. I'm going to have a think about how I want to structure the videos of this season, because that's a lot of freaking games. It is. It really is. By the way, look, there actually are some teams that we've played before in there. We've got Meridian VP. We've played against them before. Is that the only one? Dorking under 18s we've played. I don't think we've played the top. Hayes and Hillingdon we might have played. I think we've played Shepherd's Bush. Got 2 reserves. Yeah, look, there we go. They're in the Middlesex. So they've got 2 reserves for some reason, which is kind of crazy, but we've definitely played against them at certain points. Either way, they want us to get to, well, they want us to get to the promotion playoff, which I actually think is a pretty tough one to throw my way straight away. But we're going to give it a go. I mean, of course we are. Of course we are. We've got 42 games. Righto. Okay, so everyone gets back from everyone will get back from holiday in a minute, and new average. That's good. More offers being made for our players. I don't want players to leave. We're only just starting the season, but that is going to be it from me today, guys. About a half an hour, maybe a little bit longer, of course. A lot of chatting, but I did say, ahead of time, this episode wouldn't have any games in it. It was all about building the squad. We've done that, and we've built a first 11, which I think is a pretty solid first 11, at least, from where we are. We've got loads of friendlies proposed, which is good as well. We'll play some of those. We'll see what happens with that. But the important thing is we've got a squad, and it looks relatively good. Johansson in goal, Flint and Turner Gilligan as the wing backs, Carr and Mason as the centre backs, Olafsson as the DM. You kind of like your defensive marshal, Dennison as your playmaking midfielder that will be able to move up and back potentially wherever we need him. Embleton and Ruddock, and they have the same thing. We can move them up, we can move them back, depending on how things are going. And we can change the roles of our strikers if and when we need to. That sub 2 spot is actually Stefan, who needs to accept it. But that'll come next episode. So what I'm going to do is go off camera. I'm going to play all the friendlies. I'm going to get to the first league game, give you an update on how the friendlies have gone, how the team has been faring. And yeah, next time out, we'll start with the season, and I'll also inform you as to how I'm going to structure the season. So thank you for watching, guys. I do hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Even though there was no games played, it was all about building the squad. I will catch you next time.